What's going on YouTube? This is What Would Josh Do, and this is an exciting video to me. I was going to buy some fans from Noctua because I already have, and I was going to buy even more, but actually was able to get in touch with them, and they were kind enough to hook me up with some new fans for my PC build. So what we're going to do is unbox them, check them out, and put them in our computer. So right now we've only got our Noctua NF-A14 cooler with one of the giant fans on it, and then we have this fan right here on the side because my case and my RAM, there's not enough room to put the big one on there. So we're going to be, this is so freaking exciting. Like, you have no clue. So we've got 4 fans. I'm going to have 2 in the front. It's going to replace the 2 Fractal Design 120s that are loud and don't go that fast. And then the 2 for the top. And then I'm going to replace that loud 120 in the back with a much higher RPM, much quieter one. So this is exciting. So let's go ahead and open up one of the 140s. There you go. That's a big freaking fan, dude. That's so awesome. Oh, okay, here we go. We're going to save time, and we're going to only put one of each, which is 2. These fans move up to 1500 RPM, and it's going to be quieter because you can move more air with a larger fan, and it doesn't have to run as loud. Then we've got some like low noise adapters. We've got some extensions. We've got the actual fan itself here. And you can mount your fans with these little guys right here, and then you just snip off the excess that you don't need. And then you've got a splitter, which I'll have to use because I only have 2 fan headers, and I'm going to be running 4 fans in my computer. So I will be using multiple fan splitters. Then you've got 4 mounting screws right here. So that's going to go on the top and the side of my case. And I already sort of did an unboxing of this guy right here, but I'll do another one because I'm using a better camera this time around than I am with my phone. So very similar. We've got the 120 mil fan here with the super close. Look at how, just look. Would you look at it? Look how close that is. That's like you can't even get your finger in there. That's pretty close. That's pretty good. I mean, but there's a nice little gap there, you know? But there's just no gap. That's super awesome. Then you've got some, so you can replace the rubber here. You can put this on the side. And if you want to use this for your radiator or something, and you want there to be even less noise, you can do that. And just like the other ones, you can mount them with these if you don't want to use screws or you can't use screws. And then it has a splitter, so you can run 2 4-pin PWM fans on one header. Or since you have multiple like me, we could do even more. We could split it this way and then run another splitter on this one and run 4 fans off of one header. And then I'll probably use an extension cable, maybe. We'll see if I need to or not. And then if you want it to run at a lower RPM and make less noise, this is what this is for right here. So let's power down my computer and put some fans in it. All right, so the goal here is to pop this off and replace these 2 front 120s. Look at how much more it goes down. And so I'll have literally more room inside my computer being cooled. So this case, the Meshify C, gives me an option to move this little bottom mount thing that's over the power supply. I have to get a smaller power supply because right now I don't have room to push this back. So these are my 2 hard drive cages. I've got 1 hard drive in there now, but I could move that back if I get a shorter power supply, and then I could mount another 120. So technically I could have 3 of these really good fans here in the front, but with the extra size, I don't think that's going to be necessary because look at that. Literally every part of my case that can get air into it with that there is going to. So that's awesome. And then I'm going to put them on the top too so the air can get sucked out of the case because this always is like pretty warm up here to touch. So I want fans blowing air up. And then we're going to replace that back fan. This fan back here is going to get replaced, so I'll have no stock case fans in my computer that came with it. Exciting. All right, let's go ahead and fast forward to the new fan being in there. And there's that other one that I was talking about. So I can't have one this big, otherwise I can't put my thing on it. I had a little bit of trouble with getting the fan in there because my CPU power cable is so thick. I kind of had to like move it, tuck it out of the way to get the fan to slide in there. But once I was able to do that, there's no problem. And I was able to keep the CPU power cable from touching the fan. As you can see, we have both 140mm fans in the top of the case just fine. When we move around to the side of the case, now I'm able to take both of these power cables and put them on a splitter so I can use one fan header for both fans. As you can see before, I had this whole big area that wasn't getting air, so no air was going over my NVMe SSD. I wasn't getting air on the bottom side of my GPU. There's just a big gap of an area just not getting air, and now that area is getting way more air than it ever got before. Now it's time to remove both of the stock 120mm fans from the front of the case and put both of our 140mm from Noctua, so we have much more air going through our case, and our sound is a lot better. Here I need to separate the front panel so I can get to those screws for the 140mm mounts, because the 120s were easy to access without the panel removed, but the 140s, that's a different story. Alright, with both front 140s installed, let's go ahead and get that back fan installed now. Now if you take a look, there's a lot less room. I can't even fit well, I can almost fit my whole hand in there. I could drop this top one down a little bit, but honestly, I wanted the most amount of air possible in the case. So right where this ends, the fan meets. So I wanted the most air possible flowing over that. And then now my graphics card, it's gonna have air blowing this way too, as well as my NVMe. So that's exciting. Now let's put that back fan on and let's turn it on. First thing we need to do is remove the stock 120 from the back. We have to make sure that the arrows are in the direction we want them. So we want the hot air being blown out of the case, not into the case. So just follow the little arrows on the fan and you'll be fine. Okay, so now we have the fan for the back, which is coming out right here. We've got the two fans at the top coming out here. Then we have the two front fans coming out here. So all those little splitters are going to come in handy because I only have two. Now, this is something I don't know. Is it okay to run 5 fans on one header, or should I split them up? Should I run 3 on one and 2 on the other? Which should I run 3 on? Which should I run 2 on? I don't know. I can change all that later. This is my first build. That's why my cable management is not the best. So if you have any suggestions as far as to like, is it okay to just run 5 off of one, or should I change them up? Let me know. All right, let me go ahead and hook these up. All right, moment of truth. I've got everything plugged in the way it was before, and I have not tried it. So I can see my motherboard LED lights on. I can see that my GPU lights on. Let's press the power button. And we have our fan spinning. Let's see if we get a display. This is my old monitor. Oh, my monitor came on the left here, which is my first monitor. All right, so what we're gonna do is go to the Fan Expert app here, and we're gonna go ahead and open it up. And we're gonna go ahead and go to Fan Expert 4. And now we're gonna do fan tuning because we changed the fans around and now we're running different fans than we were earlier. Wow, so they're at full speed and it's loud. But, oh my gosh, is it a much better sound than the other fans were. Like, you have no clue. It is a much more tolerable, sound of it being loud. Like, the other one was more of, think of a whiny loud and like a bass loud. Like, it's hard to explain, but it is so much better at full speed than it was before. And now all my fans are almost completely off. Just the front ones are on. It's hard to see the top ones up there, but it is currently spinning, both of them. All right, and so now we can go through here and kind of spin this carousel around and name each fan. So, I have the back fan, front fan. It doesn't know what fan this is, but you can actually give it a name, and it will spin that one up and tell you which one it is. So I'm going to do that later. I'm going to get all these fans named. I've got 3 fans on one header, the 2 top ones and the back one, and then I've got the 2 front ones on another header. So let's go full speed. I could actually definitely run these at full speed and not be like, oh my god, that's freaking terrible. That is nice. What about turbo? Turbo's like loud enough where I can't really hear it at all. That's nice. That is so nice. I am much happier with this setup now. While I was doing a little bit of cable management, making the front of it look nice and putting all the fans together, I learned I did something wrong. So before, my reset button did not work at all. I had one of them like one over. So now when I press my reset button, my computer restarts. So I don't have to hold my power button down if it's being unresponsive and wait. So now it'll reset instantly. So all my fans installed, everything working great. It sounds so much better than it did before. There's definitely a lot more air being moved throughout the case. I've got a much higher RPM back fan, and then I've got the two 140s in the front, two 140s at the top. And so now I have a lot more air going in and out of my case, and it's a lot quieter. I am so happy. And thank you so much, Noctua, for hooking me up with all these fans. This video took a little while to put together. If you enjoyed it, please give it a thumbs up. If you're new to my channel, please subscribe. This is What Would Josh Do, and I'm out.